In today's episode, I'm going to tell you how I made my first $1 million and how I put all of the pieces of the puzzle together. Now, what you can learn by this is not only exactly how I did it, how I got to my first $1 million in online sales, but you can use part of this for yourself as well. And there's lots of mistakes that I made along the way and things that I wish that I would have done different. So there's going to be lots of things in today's episode that you can use in your own business moving forward. And I'm sure it will save you a lot of time and a lot of messing around, because I really did waste a lot of time back in my early days, in my early years. But of course, you don't know what you don't know. So it all started back in 2007. I had a job here in the UK and I basically quit my job. I sent an email to my manager and I'd had enough. And on the flight back, I was on the way back from Scotland back to England. And on that flight, that was 2007, I said to myself, I've had enough of working in jobs. I'm going to try and make some money on the internet, because at this point, the internet was just starting to get a little bit popular. People were still working online in 2007, but it still wasn't that popular. So I bought my first laptop in November 2007, and then I started to learn all of this internet stuff around then. I played online poker for a while, tried some different things, didn't really work out, and that was when I started to look around on YouTube, and this was March 2008. So, over 17 years ago now, so a long time, almost 2 decades. A lot of different things have changed since then. This was 2008. I made my first $20 in March 2008, and then I spent the next 2 to 3 years just trying different stuff. I tried some CPA, some lead gen things. I built some websites, some AdSense sites, you name it, I tried it. I didn't really make a lot of money. I probably made a few $1,000s over that couple of years. But then when it all clicked for me, and you can do the same thing, what I'm now going to tell you, but when it all clicked for me was when I started to be consistent and using only one business model, and that was niche sites. Now, people still build niche websites. These are like niche websites, micro sites, whatever you want to call them. They're just blogs and websites, and you make them, you upload content, create content, and then you can drive traffic to your sites from Google. And this is how I made my first $3,000 to $5,000. This was over probably a year or 18 months, and I had my first $100 day. This was in about 2010. So things were going okay. And then by 2012, 2013, I realized that making money how I was doing it was okay, and you can still do it. People are still using websites and creating blogs and websites and driving traffic to them from Google. You can still do this. People do it all the time. But it wasn't really something that I wanted to do for the long term, because I didn't really feel like it was a proper business, because you're relying on Google for a lot of your traffic. And that's fine. You can get free traffic from Google, but relying on that traffic methods to pay your bills, pay your mortgage, is quite unstable, and it's a little bit risky, in my opinion. But it's up to you what you want to do, in my opinion. And then come 2013, I decided that I wanted to get into the product creation side of things. And this was when my income shot up. So from 2013, I started creating, in fact, it was 2012, I believe, my first product that I created. And then 2012, 2013 and 14, I started to create courses and products on the internet, and I sold them. And I started to build an email list. So if we fast forward from 2013 all the way up to 2021. So in that 8 years, I generated about 1.2 million in online sales. So the money that I made in that period, as you I'm sure you'd agree, it's not bad. It's pretty good, especially when I first started out in 2013 creating products, because I didn't really know what to do. So for that 8 years, I made a fair bit of money creating and selling different courses. Now the courses were on home business. I was just teaching people basic skills within courses. So how to build websites, how to get traffic from Google, how to use email marketing in your business. So all these different basic skills that people needed. I learned a lot of this stuff through trial and error and doing it myself. So all I was doing was creating courses and teaching my customers these basic skills, how they could then build their own business and save a lot of time. So I was doing this mainly for a number of years, and that was how I made my first $1 million in sales. Now of course that $1 million is not pure profit. Some of that goes to my affiliates, some of it goes to the actual marketplace where I put the product onto. But that is how I made my first $1 million. Now, can you do the same? Of course you can. You can go out there and create courses and create products and all of that. Now, here's a big lesson that I learned. And here's where you can hugely benefit, because you can save so much more time and you can make a lot more sales as well, a lot more money. The problem that I had, I would say, well, the mistake that I made too many courses in that time. I've probably released over 100 different courses over that 8 to 9 years. Over 100 courses. Each course had videos, because most of my courses were video courses. So most of those were video courses, between 3 and 20 videos long. I had sales pages, download pages, all these different things that I created. And looking back, I wouldn't say that I regret doing it, because at the time, and I always say this, but you don't know what you don't know. I'm glad that I did it, because it couldn't have happened any other way, because that is the way that it happened personally for me. Now you might be different. If you do something similar, and I'm not saying go out there and create 100 courses, but I would say my biggest piece of advice is, if you're going to create courses and create products, keep things nice and narrow and focused, so that you're not going too wide. I was creating courses like on lots and lots of different topics all the time. And that's all well and good, and you can make sales, but what happens is you end up spreading yourself too thin. So you don't end up progressing that quickly, because your goal and your focus should be to keep things fairly narrow. So you've got 1 or 2 products, and you've maybe got 1 or 2 sort of main parts of your business that you funnel everything into. And that's the biggest mistake that I made looking back. So if there's one piece of advice that I can give you based on my own experience, is do not go too wide. Don't spread yourself too thin and create all these different things and use all these different business models. That will come in time. Once you're making enough money in your business, in your current business, then you can start to create different income streams. But this was the mistake that I made many, many years ago. And as I said, it is what it is. I made a mistake. I did that. I still did quite well, to be honest, for a number of years, but I could have generated so many more sales if I had focused and had one specific business or product that I sent everyone to. That would have been so much easier and so much more profitable and easier to manage as well. So that was my background up to about 2021. From 2021, I've changed things slightly. I've created a different type of business, so it's much easier to maintain. All the training that I give is within Coffee Shop Income. So that is how I did things. And of course, you can do something similar. I'm not saying you can't copy what I did. You can, of course, go out there and create all these different courses. But I truly believe the internet has changed since I started in 2008. It has. It's changed massively. You now are not going to benefit that much by spreading yourself across multiple products and multiple businesses. It's even worse than it used to be. The key now is to be very, very focused, very specific on your message, and create your own business, but keep it nice and tight and keep people within a certain area of your business. Don't start sending people to all these different products and all these different business opportunities. You just need one main product, one main focus in your business, and trust me, it is so much easier. As I've just said, I've been there, I've done that, and I spent almost a decade creating all of these different products in my business, and I had all these different email lists for all these different products, and trust me, it gets very complex because you're trying to manage and you're trying to sort of scale your business, because at some point you are going to look at your numbers and think, well, you really would like to make more money and make more sales and drive more traffic, but if your business is spread out in such a way that it's unscalable, basically that's what will really happen, and that's what happened to me. My business was not scalable because I didn't have the correct elements in place in the correct areas of my business. So it was almost impossible to actually scale the numbers up, and this is what you have to do. You have to find a business that works for you, and then you can slowly increase the volume at which you do things, and then things just grow from there. So that is my short story on how I made my first $1 million. It's not a huge secret. You can do something similar. You can go out there and create products and courses and all these different programs. Yes, you can do that, but take it from me, you're best to keep things nice and focused on one specific funnel or product, and just keep things nice and tight that way and build your own community. Not only do I strongly believe that that's the way forward in 2025 and 2026, 27, 28, over the next so many years, that's definitely the way forward, but it's also so much easier to maintain. When you've got all these different products and you're constantly creating different things and different angles, it's a lot more work. It's going to take a lot more of your time, a lot more of your focus as well. So even if you're just starting out, keep things nice and simple. Get yourself an opt-in page. Get yourself a free gift that you can give away to people that want to learn more about your stuff. It doesn't have to be the best free gift or product ever to hit the internet. It just has to solve a problem that they have. It could be an ebook. It could be a single video. Just give something away of value. You don't even need anything to sell as soon as you decide that you want to build an internet business. You just need a couple of basic tools, some web hosting, and an autoresponder. I always say that. You can get away with everything else. You can just wing it if you want to. You know, it's an expression we like to use in the UK. Just wing it, you know, just make it up as you go along. But as long as you have those two tools, the web hosting and your autoresponder, because that way you're able to build a mailing list of people that are potentially interested in more stuff that you have. Not only that, but when you give away your free gift, you can get people to enter your ecosystem, and you can deliver your free gift to that person via the first email. So once they sign up to your email list, to your autoresponder, you can just set your autoresponder up, your machine, so that it automatically sends them the free gift after they have entered their details. It's really simple, basic stuff. So you need web hosting and an autoresponder. Everything else, I'm not going to say you don't need anything else, but you can build a good business from just having web hosting and an autoresponder. Everything else that you get will be a bonus, and there are of course some other tools that you can purchase and you can buy that are very useful, but those two are the most crucial. A website, which means you need web hosting, so somewhere to put it in cyberspace, so you need some web space. So you need hosting and an autoresponder, and you're good to go. So I hope that helps. As I said, that is how I made my first $1 million on the internet. And this all started back in 2012, but I've learned so much over the last decade, well, 15 years of creating courses and products, and I can now teach you and show you lots of things that I've learned and things that have worked for me over the last 14 to 15 years of creating products and building my business. So if you would like to get loads more training from me for completely free, just go to coffeeshopincome.com/bootcamp and I'll give you a completely free bootcamp video series where this is going to help you and explain more about how you can set up your own internet-based business and start generating sales in the next 30 days. So you just go over there. The link will be below the video if you're watching this on video. If you're listening to this on a podcast, then it will be below as well somewhere. Otherwise, just go to coffeeshopincome.com/bootcamp. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. As I say, this is a little bit of a different type of episodes and video that I normally like to make. I don't normally like to talk about figures and money like that, you know, all the money that I've generated in the past, but I have been in the trenches over the last 15 years creating products and generating sales from my online courses. So that's something that I could talk about for weeks because I've done this for over a decade. So thanks for watching today's episode. See you in the next one.